Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So happy fall, first of all. I think this is the first video, maybe second, I've had since fall has been in season. So today I thought I'd kind of start off this season with a roundup of my 5 favorite must-have palettes for fall. Some of these palettes are new, some are old, and very well loved. And one of them I've talked about on my channel previously. If you're interested in seeing my favorite palettes for fall, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start out with the newest palette that I've added to my collection and absolutely I'm loving, and I think it's just the most perfect palette for this time of the year, is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. So this palette is just so perfect on a lot of different levels. So I think Huda Beauty has mastered the matte eyeshadow perfectly. These mattes are absolutely perfect and just the tones are very fall-esque. I mean, they're like the color of leaves and I love that. But also what makes this palette special to me is that it has different colors in it. You have your standard eyeshadow palettes and some that I'll talk about here that are very basic. Like they have the same kind of tones, but this palette specifically has so many different tones to it, but somehow it all works together. It's not just your kind of like neutral warm tone shadows. You have these amazing pops of purple and like red and gold that I think make this palette just so different from anything I've ever seen before. I think it's just absolutely perfect for this time of the year, but I mean all the time, but this time of the year specifically I think it's just awesome. Also, I have a tutorial using that palette that went up last week, so if you want to see that, I will link it in the description box down below. The next one is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I mean, duh. It's extremely messy, so excuse that. This part of the palette is very, very neutral, very basic. And then you have these amazing pops of color that you can combine with these shades to give a really nice twist to your look, to add a pop of color, to make it a little bit different than just your basic, like your orange, your kind of tanny beige colors, and then you have like your gold. I just think this palette is a total 10 out of 10. It's amazing and people love it for reasons, and they get so much use out of this, and I already have used it a couple times this month already, so. Okay, next we have a palette that's a little bit more affordable and I think is perfect for this time of year. This is the Morphe 35F palette, and I think the F actually stands for fall, so that makes sense. But this is what the palette looks like. This, to me, once again, like all these palettes I feel it looks super, super similar. They all have like the warms, but also that pop of purple and red and pink that I love for this time of year. So yeah, this palette has your basic mattes. This entire top row is mattes, and then, well, it's really the bottom row. I have the palette flipped over. All mattes, and then the rest of them are these beautiful shimmery colors. I think that's absolutely stunning. So many different colors I think are perfect. These colors right here are beautiful for like an inner corner highlight or a all over the lid kind of pop. And then you have your more purples, your pinks, your gold. I love that it has a matte black because that's perfect for if you want to do like a more subtle eyeliner look. You could just run that with like an angled liner brush on your lash line, or to really, really deepen a look and make it more smoky and fall, like nighttime harvesty sort of look. Next, going back to a little bit more of a pricey palette, and this is a palette that I've talked about on my channel a couple times because it is my favorite palette of all time. Guys, of all time. I have one palette in my collection. This is the palette that I would have because I just find it so versatile for every time of the year, especially fall though. It is the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. This is the old packaging, that kind of soft matte sort of situation. Very dirty, as you can see. Very nice. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. Once again, it's the same palette, kind of, as the rest of them. Where you have all these really pretty warm tones, and then you have these pinks and purples. This palette has my absolute favorite matte formula ever. I think their mattes are perfect. But what's so funny is that it has my favorite shimmery shadow formula also, which is crazy because it's rare that I feel like I'm so lucky to have both in a one palette, or that anyone really is, to have a brand that really consistently makes amazing mattes and amazing shimmer shadows. That's, I feel like, really rare. And that's why I love Violet Voss so much, and this is why I like this palette so much. So like you have your mattes, I'll swatch a couple for you guys, where they're just really, really pigmented. I mean, look at those colors. So you have those, and then you have your more shimmery shadows. So I'll do Cool Beans, which is stunning, and let's do Cranberry Splash. I mean, that's so pretty. So yes, this is just my absolute favorite palette of all time, and for fall I love it even more because I feel like I can just wear the heck out of this palette, and I love it. Okay, and lastly, for my favorite palettes for fall, I have the brand new kind of ColourPop palette. It's the I Think I Love You palette. This palette is stunning, and this one actually looks different from the rest of the ones I've shown. Crazy! I'm branching out. So this one basically is all of your more warm fall tones in one palette, except for like this shade is pretty cool tone, this beautiful brown. ColourPop does such an amazing job of making their palettes so affordable yet such great quality. I have every single one of these little pressed palettes they come out with, and this is definitely one of my favorites. I love this. I love them all, but this one is a favorite for sure. So you have the most beautiful selection of your warm and cool shadows. You have this beautiful gold. I used this on my sister for her homecoming makeup this past weekend, and it looked so, so beautiful. It's a stunning gold, and you have this beautiful like coppery brown tone shadow. I mean, guys, this palette's $16. That's such a good price. That's cheaper than some drugstore eyeshadow palettes. It's cheaper than the new NYX ones, actually. So this one is just a win to the max. For me, I love this palette. The packaging is beautiful. It's so fall-y and copperish. So yes, I love that palette so much. Okay, guys, so that wraps up my favorite palettes for fall. I am very eager to hear what your guys' favorite palettes are, so definitely leave me a comment down below telling me what your favorite is, or if maybe one of these is your favorite. I don't know. I don't know. If you want to see any specific looks with these palettes for fall, for sure let me know. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing my eyes today, this is a bunch of single shadows from ColourPop. I love pink for fall. Is that weird? I don't know. I love it. But fall is my favorite time of the year. Also, I love winter. Just I love this kind of like dreary time of the year. That is where I thrive. That's where I love to be. Spring and summer, not so much. But I can appreciate all the seasons for different reasons, obviously. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got some inspiration for some fall makeup from looking at these palettes, because you already know fall makeup is bomb. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye.